friends who you're never sure if they secretly are making fun of you every time you hang out? You've known them for so long, it's too painful to think your so-called friend really hates you. So you look for ways in which they're really cool, right? Nature and humanity are kind of like that. We grew up together, employing the same fractal architecture and evolutionary behavior in the macro of nature's fault lines and hurricanes as in the micro of our nervous system and even the adjustments we make to stay balanced. We will need a lot of balance this weekend and nerves of waterproof steel and also maybe a boat. Because the hurricane's not here yet and the Acculorber weather budget is too delicate and shy to allow us to fly down to Cape Hatteras, I got a friend of mine from Texas to come here with a couple bottles of seltzer to simulate the effects of Irene while I tell you what the hell is going to happen this weekend. We've been tracking the storm with a human accuracy that the computer models with their long legs and pouting lips could never achieve. This is a huge beast with tropical storm and hurricane force winds extending 260 miles from the event center. The center of a storm this size is technically known as the eye of the storm. For days we've been saying that Irene will make landfall near New York City on Sunday afternoon as a Category 1 hurricane. What that means depends on whether Sunday afternoon whether it goes a little to the east towards Long Island or west towards New Jersey. In either case, this will be a bigger storm than we have seen in decades. The difference between the east and west scenarios is like a guy hitting you in the head or hitting you in the groin with your head. Scenario A, which most weather models go with, and they're mostly inaccurate, says Category 1 storm Irene will center on middle or eastern Long Island. The outer bands will arrive Saturday night. By 8 a.m. Sunday, we will be in the thick of it. And by late afternoon, sustained winds here in the city will be 80 miles per hour with gusts well past 100. Total rainfall likely to be 4 to 6 inches with a storm surge about 3 feet here in the city and twice that on Long Island. But what that doesn't take into account is a high-pressure system over Chicago that will be drawing the storm inland as it tracks up the coast. Scenario B is more serious. It's what will happen, actually. Saturday afternoon, a cold front will sweep down from the north as though nothing much is going on, but then it'll be like, oh dip, what the hell is that? And it will actually turn around and come back over us, this time from the south as a warm front, propelled by Irene right behind it. And then Irene comes in, and you'll be like, how did you get in here? And Irene will be like, oh, you left the door open. You'll be like, no, I didn't. And Irene will be like, look, I just want to talk to you a little about what you did to my sister, or all that money you owe me for taking care of that thing for you. It will make landfall in New Jersey around Cape May. This will be much worse for New York City than if it hits Long Island, and here's why. Cyclones like Irene are called cyclones because they spin. If you're on the west side of them, you get hit with winds that are coming back against the forward motion of the storm, so it's a little less dramatic. But on the east side, the wind is added to that forward motion. The east side of the storm is called the dirty side. It does what other storms don't have the stomach for. And that's what's coming at us, where everything is amplified. Wind, rain, and in a city this close to sea level, a much higher storm surge pulled by the vacuum under the Verrazano Bridge into the harbor. It's not a Katrina, but if anybody is familiar with New Orleans' Mr. Go, the Verrazano Narrows will act as a similar funnel. The moon is a player in all this too. The storm will arrive shortly before an extremely high tide Sunday afternoon. Right now, the National Weather Service slosh models predict a storm surge 10 to 15 feet, plus a high tide of 6 feet on top of that, and waves on top of that. Bear in mind, Manhattan below Canal Street is mostly below 10 feet above sea level. So here is the list of places that will see flooding. Lower Manhattan, all of Red Hook, Coney Island, the Rockaways, JFK and LaGuardia Airport, the Gowanus and Newton Creek areas, which means Superfund site gonorrhea for everyone. Ellis, Liberty, and Governor's Island will be mostly underwater. The subway system and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel are likely to be overtopped and damaged by seawater before being pumped out. Rain in the neighborhood of 10 inches or more will flood the area. But Monday will be nice. But what if you're not done having boring conversations about the earthquake yet? Don't worry, if you haven't been able to locate any property damage in your apartment from the Virginia earthquake, Hurricane Irene will find them for you and will open the cracks big enough to see and pour 5 boroughs worth of water into your living room through. So I guess we shouldn't be running all those carbon smelting factories in what used to be the rainforest, right? But after the earthquake and hurricane, we're cool now, nature, right? Hello? Anyway, that's it for now. Stay tuned to Acculorber for updates throughout the weekend, and in the meantime, don't forget to set your clocks back. Farewell.
announced, and his prediction changed. I went up to heaven. Where did heaven go?